violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
And now an update on the story that we brought you last week. A Mastic Beach mother sexually assaulted in a home invasion. And tonight investigators tell CBS 2's Jennifer McLogan that they have made a shocking arrest. The alleged rapist in this case, just 14 years old.
The 23-year-old.
Wow. We got 14-year-olds out here taking WAP. It's crazy. You know, I wanted to shed some light on this story because I did a story in New Jersey where this guy took advantage of this woman on the train and pretty much nobody did anything. Happens in New York as well. Chicago. It's getting dangerous on the transit systems, but now, like, you just got these dudes walking the street. It's crazy.
Mother released from the hospital has moved from the Mastic Beach home where she was strangled, stabbed, robbed, and brutally raped 2 weeks ago.
This is a case that is both shocking and extremely disturbing.
Police say the video they distributed of the...
So I remember this one, actually. We did cover this. I told you guys they hoodied up. They got the J's on. Joggers. It's crazy, bruh. These super gremlins are on demon time.
The perpetrators led to tips and eventually a DNA profile that matched the violent rape scene. The suspect, a 14-year-old youth.
Upsetting given the age of the offender as well as the underlying facts of the case.
14 years old, strangling, robbing, and sexually assaulting. Sisters, come get your kids.
Horrified neighbors helped the young woman as she ran naked from her home, clutching her 4-year-old. The two suspects had fled.
She walked over, held the daughter's hand. I thought they were playing until I realized the woman, I was wondering what she had on. It turned out she was bleeding from her head, bad. Like her whole body was covered with blood.
The victim and her child had been trapped upstairs.
The victim heard noises downstairs, but she assumed it was her husband who had come home early from work.
They quickly locked themselves in an upstairs bedroom. The suspects broke down the door.
The defendant, who was armed with a knife, began to rape the victim in front of her daughter.
God dang, bro. These super gremlins are brutal. You saw the video. We saw what they look like. I will say, though, they weren't sagging their pants. I'm sure when they got in the room, they did start sagging their pants. But that one would have been hard to, like, straight up profile. Like, it would have been hard to call. Just seeing them down the street, like, walking and being like, what are these dudes hooded up? Like, you know what I mean? It ain't even raining. They got their hoodies on. But other than that, it would have been hard to call.
Then stabbed and slashed her.
Once I was informed about this heinous act, I wanted to make sure that I have the best investigators handling this case.
They made an arrest within 24 hours. The accomplice of the alleged rapist remains at large. Sources say they know who they are looking for.
Wow. So they got one of them. The other one's still on the streets. Let's see what the Asian community thinks about this.
Just hope they get whoever doing it, you know. It's not a good thing.
One on the loop.
Why didn't you, Mr. Chu? You know what I mean? I'm gonna need some of these dudes to get a little triad on these motherfucking super gremlins for real. Like, y'all gonna have to start going Yakuza on them.
I just hope they get whoever doing it, you know. It's not a good thing.
One on the loose and nobody's talking.
Listen to what she said. One on the loose. And who's not talking? The community's not talking.
One on the loose and nobody's talking. Somebody knows something. And that person, who's ever it is that's hiding them, I'm sorry, they should be convicted of it as well.
Facts. And that would be the single mother raising the super gremlin. So, do with it what you may.
The 14-year-old was arraigned, remanded, and because of his juvenile status, faces a maximum of 10 years in prison. The hunt for his accomplice continues. On Long Island, Jennifer McLogan, CBS 2 News.
And a Queens family is grieving and searching for answers after a food delivery worker is shot on the job. The victim, a father of 3. CBS 2's Christina Fan spoke with his family.
These are 45-year-old Zhiwen Yan's final moments before he was gunned down point blank in the middle of a residential Forest Hill street. Watch as the food delivery worker gets on his scooter and pulls out onto 108th Street when someone walks up to him and shoots him in the chest Saturday night around 9:30.
What the freaking... Dude, these super gremlins are on demon time. Like... inexplicable. Sisters, come get your kids.
Yen's grieving widow still shell-shocked and unable.
Stop Asian hate. Stop Asian hate. Stop Asian hate, bro. You gotta say it 3 times, like swipe or no swiping. And maybe, just maybe, I mean, in that situation, it was too quick. They just clapped him out just like that.
To process the loss, told us by the time she got to the hospital, doctors told her he was gone. She said they told me.
She's broken. She's broken. These super gremlins destroyed her. Look at the blank stare in her eyes. How is she supposed to go on like that? Like, she got a daughter. They totally broke this woman.
Told her he was gone. She said they told me your husband died. I told them they are lying. My heart broke into pieces. I told him, please stand up and come home with me. Family members say Yen was the most doting and hardworking father to 3 children, the youngest just 2 years old. Every day for 14 years, he worked from dawn till dusk at the Great Wall restaurant in Queens. Recently, he also opened a laundromat with his wife.
Wow. Super gremlins killing entrepreneurs out here. Mad because, dude, this guy worked. He was doing DoorDash. He opened a laundromat. And he's still working. And the super gremlins just, boom, end his life just like that.
To better provide for his kids. At first, we all thought he had been robbed. But to find that he was murdered for no reason at all on the street.
No reason. It's a hate crime, guys. It's a hate crime. I'm sorry to say, it's a hate, bro. The Asian community is gonna have to start no justice, no peace. They're gonna have to start coming in droves. But I don't think there's enough of them. You know, even though they have these populated areas in New York, yes, but all in all, there's just not enough every single one of them would have to be in the streets, literally. And that's just not how they move, okay? It really isn't.
I can't understand. Yen's death comes less than 24 hours after Mayor Adams held a rare weekend meeting with precinct commanders, demanding solutions.
How late after was it from Mayor Eric Adams going to the Met Gala with a Stop Gun Violence tuxedo? It was tacky, bruh. It was tacky.
Solutions to stem the rising tide of crime. Starting today, every borough is also getting a violence reduction coordinator. But neighbors worry if the changes are happening fast enough. What does it make you wonder?
Well, who's around the neighborhood that would do something like that? And, you know, what else are they? Yeah, what else might they do?
Who do you think? Who's around the neighborhood that would do something like that? These super gremlins on demon time.
In the future, if they don't find them.
Police are asking for help finding the shooter, who they say drove off in a light gray or tan Lexus eastbound on 67th Drive. In Forest Hills, Queens, Christina Fan, CBS 2 News.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Medgar Evers, and it's a very tranquil scene compared to just a couple hours ago where a drive-by shooting just took place. Excuse me, I'm getting live updates as we speak. I've just been updated to the amount of casualties from this drive-by shooting, and I'm getting reports that 2 people were actually declared deceased and 27 others were shot and injured but are in stable condition. And although we must pray for the families of the fallen, we must also praise God for the aim of the super gremlin. If you want to know more about the victims of this crime, make sure you add BGZM News 17 on Patreon at www.patreon.com/blackgenzmindset. Also, don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment on the video to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this gun violence in the streets. For more hard-hitting news coverage from the community, by the community, I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
And cut.
All right, dog. Let's get the out of here before these niggas come back.
Whoa. Yo!
Whoa.
Ain't that nigga J?
Nah, that ain't me. That ain't me.
He just went live
That
with
ain't
that
me.
funky ass suit
That's
on.
that nigga. That's not me.
Hey, get that nigga.
Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia. Pray for me.
Important surveillance footage which was shown to jurors earlier today in the murder case of Josue Flores. Prosecutors say that it's the killer running away after murdering the boy. Fox 26's Dominique Keith is there live at the Harris County Criminal Courthouse with more.
And guys, this is an episode to show you just how random, brazen, and senseless these super gremlins have become. We're gonna just start to see random. I mean, we're already starting to see it, but it's gonna increase heavily by the end of 2022. I mean, I can't even imagine where we're gonna be at then by December.
Yeah, Rashi, Jose Flores' father was in the courtroom today as emotional video was shown of the 11-year-old's last moments alive.
I'm Grace Jones' son, Fox.
As prosecutors present.
What? He said he's Grace Jones' son.
Moments alive.
And he's talking to Fox News.
I'm Grace Jones' son, Fox.
And he sounded like he got a little sugar in his tank. Sisters, come get your kids.
I'm Grace Jones' son, Fox.
As prosecutors present their case against Andre Jackson, heartbreaking video is shown to jurors of 11-year-old Josue Flores leaving Marshall Middle School wearing his blue backpack, a bag that's now bloodstained with slashes on it and on display in the courtroom as evidence.
He was such a smart boy. He had so much going for him.
In the video, Josue has no idea he's about to cross paths with a madman. Prosecutors point out a terrifying timeline. At 4:39 p.m. on that day in May of 2016, the 11-year-old is seen walking home from school. Just 1 minute later, out of the view of cameras, witnesses saw a grown man suddenly stab the 4'10", 77-pound child more than 20 times in a deadly and unprovoked attack that lasted mere seconds.
How quickly and how the suspect left the crime and how calmly that suspect that's in the videos today walked away from a murder scene.
At 4:42 p.m., the first of more than a dozen surveillance cameras captures a man walking and looking at his hands, then putting on his jacket, and he's later running away. Prosecutors say the man in the video is Andre Jackson. Defense attorneys did not deny it's Jackson, but they say witnesses initially said the killer had bushy hair and was carrying a bag.
This case is going to be all based on reasonable doubt.
Houston defense attorney Rick DeToto is not working this case, but did stop by to observe and says one of the toughest hurdles for the defense is getting past what prosecutors say is Josue Flores' DNA on Jackson's jacket.
Wow. So they're trying to present reasonable doubt that this guy didn't do it because the first description of him was that he was not bald.
That was recovered from his room at the Salvation Army.
I haven't seen all the videos in this case, but there's some arguments to be made that you can't prove that that's the same jacket that's seen on the video.
Now, prosecutors say they can prove that, and you may remember Jackson was arrested in 2016, and then he was let go, and the charges were dropped against him after DNA results came back inconclusive. He was arrested again in 2019 after investigators say they were able to use new technology to give them a more accurate reading of the DNA. Jurors have...
So he was let go, and then they brought him back on charges.
Been released for the day, and the trial is set to resume tomorrow morning at 9:30. Reporting live at the Harris County Criminal Courthouse, I'm Damalee Keith, Fox 26 News.
Lots of questions tonight after a break-in turned deadly shooting at a San Antonio home. Police say that a woman shot and killed a man who tried to break into her home last night on Kashmir Place near Kellis Avenue. That's on the city's southeast side. The night team's John Paul Barajas spoke with neighbors who are worried about their own families and homes.
That's why we moved here. Park's right next door. Go over there and play. And that's the idea. But bad things happen.
And I bought this house because
bad things happen. What?
Because there was a park behind it.
This park behind homes on Kashmir Place became an entry point for a would-be burglar Thursday night. It appears the man walked through an opening in the fence and tried to force his way into a back door.
First thing we heard was the gunshot, and it was one. And then a few, maybe within a minute, a second one popped out.
The homeowner, a woman home alone with 3 children, shot the man in the chest, killing him.
And that's a W, okay? We getting some W's, man. I like to show these stories because people ain't going for it, or they're trying not to go for it. And, you know, you got to show some positivity. I hope more of this actually happens. And I hope some of these dudes get caught lacking when they're trying to catch people lacking.
Nearly 24 hours later, neighbors are thinking about what if it happened to them.
I feel for the people that live in that house because I do. The fear and the adrenaline that was going in.
In case that we need to see something, and you know, we didn't have any camera in the back, so we couldn't see anything back there. We just aimed it to the front.
Is that backyard camera something that you're contemplating now?
Actually, it's already been done.
Now, we haven't been able to get a hold of the homeowner here.
And the cameras aren't going to stop them. These super gremlins are on demon time.
Who shot the suspect, but at last check, she's not facing any charges. As for the suspect, the medical examiner has not identified him yet. John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
New this morning, a man is dead after trying to break into a family's home overnight.
Police got the call at around 10 o'clock on Kashmir Place. This is over on the city's southeast side. KENS 5 reporter Alyssa Tejas joins us live. Alyssa, police say the homeowner is the one who shot him.
That's right, Holly. Police tell us that the man tried to gain access through the home through a back door and was inside the laundry room. From the laundry room, he tried to gain access to the front of the home through a front door, but that's when the homeowner heard the commotion. She is described as a woman in her 30s. She ran into the man and shot him twice. That's when police were called and the man was taken to the hospital. Police say the man died on the way over. Now, police also tell us that 3 children were inside the home at the time of the shooting. Thankfully, no one else was hurt as a result of this incident. The sergeant on scene tells us they don't expect that this woman will face any charges due to the circumstances of this incident. Reporting from the Northwest Side, I'm Melissa Tejas, KENS 5.
All right, guys, so I did want to update you on our new press secretary, who's actually been named as Karine Jean-Pierre. It looks like she is a Haitian woman, and Biden is basically stacking the deck with sisters. He got Kamala, he got Ketanji Brown Jackson, he's got Karine Jean-Pierre, and it looks like he is stacking the deck with sisters so that he can be shielded or protected from criticism as far as his legacy goes and his hiring practices and his workplace environment, even though people have already said they don't like working with Kamala. And, you know, who really likes working with sisters when they in the leadership position? I'm just saying, they can do a lot, okay? And I'm not going to get into what they're doing in the White House, but I think this is a move by him to kind of shield himself from protection. Shield himself so that he can get protection from criticism that, you know, ultimately is going to end up falling on him.
So I just want to take the opportunity to celebrate and congratulate my friend, my colleague, my partner in truth, Karine Jean-Pierre, the next White House press secretary. Now, many people in this room have known her for some time, but for anyone who does not know her, I want to provide a little bit of a primer for you, so settle in.
And you know what? Shout out to her. If anybody who they're going to put in the job, you know, is going to be bought and paid for. So I don't want it to seem like I'm just hating, but if she's got to know, she's got to see that this is a political game. She's a pawn on the chessboard. This is a virtue signal hire. And it's you know, it's like I'm conflicted with it because I don't like what Biden is doing. I don't like the direction that he's going. And then I know I know the reason why he hired her. And not saying that she, you know, can't do the job, but she's going to be pushing the woke rhetoric, obviously. And it has nothing to do with, oh, she's a sister. It's everything to do with the mindset, okay? That's why I wanted to show you guys the temperature of what's going on in the U.S. and get stories from multiple places, from the East Coast to the West Coast, so that you guys can see that nothing changes, okay? This doesn't help or necessarily hurt anyone, the hire, all right? It's just a way for him to say, I did something for black people.
First, as you all know, she will be the first black woman, the first out LGBTQ plus person to serve.
Wow. So and the fact that they said that is just, it's cringe. Oh, she's the first black LGBTQ. It's like a triple, quadruple, quintuple, sextuple, like, token higher. You know what I'm saying? It's that, man, look. And you can't say anything about these people, okay? Because they're above criticism. Because you can't really tell which side she identifies on at any given moment. So I don't want to misgender her too, because I don't know if she's rocking with the he, him, or the she, her. I don't know. I don't want to assume. But where are we? Where are we at, man? It just feels like a dream world.
In this role, which is amazing because representation matters, and she is going to, she will give a voice to so many and allow and show so many what is truly possible when you work hard and dream big, and that matters, and we should not, we should celebrate that. But I also want to make clear what all of her qualifications are. What a remarkable person is. She got her start in New York City politics. She comes to this job with decades of experience even though she looks very young. We're both in our 20s.
That's right.
Having served in communications and political roles on many campaigns in the Obama-Biden administration and for both of former President Obama's campaigns. She's a longtime advisor to President Biden and Dr. Biden. They are partners, having served in senior roles for him and for both of them back to when he was vice president. And she's worked for a number of...
So she's obviously qualified, but you can tell that this hire was strategic. She's been there. She's obviously worked for the liberal press, so she knows how to handle herself behind the mic and answer questions and deflect questions and dodge questions. And she's going to get sassy in these press conferences, okay? She's going to have a little twang, a little neck roll, a little eye rolls, and you know, she's going to throw all that in. And I'm not mad at her for doing it. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? You got to know that this is... there's a reason why she's in the position that she's in, you know. But like I said, I ain't hating. Shout out to her.
Advocacy organizations fighting for issues and justice for so many Americans. And I just want to say, I will have a lot to say about how grateful I am for for the trust the president and the first lady and the whole team have given me and entrusted me in the last 15 months. But this day is about Karine, and I want to celebrate her. And on a personal note, I want to say that one of the first conversations we had when we both found out we were getting these jobs was about how we wanted to build a drama-free, on your best days, workplace where everybody worked hard, where we, on our best days, were rebuilding trust with the public. And I am just so grateful to have had Karine by my side for this over the last 15 months, and I just can't wait to see her shine at the podium. So. Congratulations, and I can't wait to see you bring your own style and brilliance to this job.
Love you, Jen.
Love you. Love you. I promise not to cry again, so that's it. We already cried. We already cried.
Gang violence and other kind of violence. So it is what it is.